All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is using spreadsheets. And spreadsheets this is an example of a spreadsheet, and we are going to use Microsoft Excel in this exercise, in this little lesson. So a spreadsheet, your initial look at it right here, looks something like the table that we put into Word because there's all these little boxes. But a spreadsheet and a table are very different. First, the spreadsheet is made of rows. You can see row 1, row 16, row 28. These are all rows. And if you click on the number on this left-hand side, it selects the entire row there in case you want to format the entire row. So there are all these rows, and that's the same as in a table. There are rows and tables. And there are also columns, and if you click on the letter at the top of the column, you can select the entire column. So in that regard, tables and spreadsheets are very similar. The difference comes in what you can do with the information in each one of these little boxes. And that kind of brings us to these little boxes. They're not actually called little boxes, they're called cells. I think you probably already know that from your everyday math class. Okay, all right, so we've got the rows and we've got the columns and we've got the cells. The intersection between the columns and the cells make these little boxes. And the little boxes or the cells have a cell name. And the cell name will always include a letter that indicates which column and a number which indicates which row. And the letter will always come first. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, that the letter will always come first. All right, so if you want to put some information in D5, you'll come over and you'll look at D and come over down to 5 and you'll click right there. Now if you're not sure whether you got D5 or not, right here is the name box, and you can check up there to be sure that you've got the right cell before you put your information in that. So if you click on that one, it's D5, where if you really had wanted D6, that will be a good way to check and see, oops, I'm in the wrong box, the wrong cell. Okay, so you have to get your information in the correct cell, because one of the other differences between a table and a spreadsheet is we can put numbers in any of these cells, and we can assign that cell to do some mathematical formulas on the numbers. Or we can tell this cell, like say C10, we can assign this the job of keeping an eye on another cell and always be twice as much as the value that's in the other cell. Then that'll become more clear as we keep using Excel, but it's really, really important that you get your information in the correct cell. So this exercise, this assignment, is simply an exercise in getting the information in the right cell. So on your handout, you'll see a big list of cell names. You'll notice that the first one says C5. So what we're going to do is we're going to click in C5, and then we're going to simply fill that cell full of color. Okay, and how to do that is you're going to go up to your paint bucket, your fill color. Be careful that you're not actually doing your font color, because they're right next to each other normally, and you don't want to do your font color. You want to do your fill color. It's the paint bucket. And you simply click on the paint bucket and it fills it full of color. Okay, your next one is C17. So you'll come down, you'll click, check your cell box, your name box, to be sure that you're in the right one, and then you click on your paint bucket again. All right, let's say, oops, you made a mistake. I didn't want that one. I wanted some other one. How you undo it is you either go to your undo arrow, which will undo the last thing you did, or if it's not the last thing that you did that you want to correct, you can click on that cell and simply, instead of choosing a color, click on the arrow next to the fill bucket and you can do no fill, and it will undo that. Okay, so that's how you fill it, and that's how you basically unfill it if you make a boo-boo. For this assignment, you're going to fill in every cell that's listed on your handout, full of color. You must use the same color for the entire exercise. I don't care what color it is, but you need to use the same color for all of them. It will be recognizable when you get enough of them filled in. And when you get enough cells filled in that you can see what it's going to make, Resist the urge to just start filling them in willy-nilly where you think they should go. Stick with your instruction sheet so that you're sure to get all the points on the assignment. When you're done, please zoom it to 60% and then save it as your last name and the word numbers. Okay, so if mine was all done, I would do save as and type Fletcher and then type out the word numbers, and then you'll save that on My Documents, save it again on the drop drive, and you're done.